APC National Leader Bola Tinubu has advised the Buhari government and the Vice President's team to rethink their plans of increasing the value-added tax, VAT. And the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has blamed past administration for failures in the Nigerian economy due to wastages. He says the next level agenda of the Buhari government will ensure provision of power and several other things. We dissect that and many more on the program. Hello everyone and welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimberley at Channels Television's global headquarters in Lagos. It's another busy day in Nigeria's politics. Let's take you round quickly in the world of politics in a few minutes. President Muhammadu Buhari today held a security meeting in Abuja, the nation's capital. In attendance at the meeting are the Minister of Defense, Mansour Ali, the National Security Advisor, Babangana Mungunun, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Bayomi Olonishakin. Others are the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibokwe Ebas, and the Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu. The Adamawa State Governorship Supplementary elections held today, witnessing a not so impressive voter turnout amidst peaceful exercise. The election became necessary following the decision of INEC in declaring the 9th March governorship elections as inconclusive. The polling officials from some polling units visited by Channels Television commend INEC and the security agencies for ensuring a peaceful atmosphere for a credible conduct of the election. And for a second day, the streets of Rivers State saw more protests today as some pro-APC women took to the streets asking for justice in the Rivers State governorship elections. The march through some major streets of Port Harcourt where they stopped at the INEC office. On the other hand, hundreds of women and supporters of the PDP in Rivers State also took to the street to protest what they call unnecessary delays in the collation and announcement of results of the governorship election. The women were dressed in white tops to symbolize their call for peace took their cause to the office of the Department of State Services and headquarters of the State Police Command. I told you earlier, so many things that are happening at the same time, but we're trying to keep you up to speed with some of the latest and the top stories we're following for and in the land around politics. The issues surrounding the leadership in the 9th National Assembly is still generating controversies. One of the contenders for the position of the Speaker in the coming 9th House of Representatives, Honorable Odebumi Olusegun, has advised that National Assembly members be allowed to choose their leaders so as to ensure that the country has a robust legislature. He was speaking in the National Assembly with our correspondent. The lawmaker agreed that the legislature must work together with the executive for the good of the country, but he emphasized that the legislature must still serve his role as a check on the executive. Take a listen to him.
The National Assembly is the symbol of the democracy. Remove National Assembly, then you have authoritarian type of government. And it's established to check the essence of the executive. They cannot control the executive. And likewise, the executive cannot control the legislative arm of government. Let me tell you, if you put the first son of the president to be the speaker of the House of Rep or the Senate. It will work by the Constitution. You cannot say because it's a speaker, okay, the Constitution requires the president to lay the budget and say, okay, because it's my father, don't worry. Just, I'll come and collect the budget from you and I'll work on it. No. The Constitution requires that the president should lay the budget for the member and it is as a draft. So there are a lot of things we are getting wrong. And I believe with time we'll get it right. But for us to have a very robust democracy in this nation, we should allow the law to take its course. There's a way we can do a lot of things behind the camera.
Well, that's one of those contesting for the position of the House of Representatives. We've not really heard so much about the speakership position, but we've heard so much about the Senate president. Let's get some perspective from a former lawmaker, an experienced politician. Senator Adeshaye Ogunlewe is here with us in our Lagos studio. He's a former minister too. He headed the Ministry of Works at some point in the country. Senator Ogunlewe, it's a pleasure having you talk to us. The dynamics that we're seeing in the APC surrounding the issues of who becomes the Senate president, who becomes the Speaker of the House of Representatives. From what we saw in 2015, do you think the APC is approaching this in the right manner?
Well, they are too enthusiastic to prove to the world that they are doing it right. But to my mind, they could have done it better by doing it an in-house thing instead of making it as a public thing during you are addressing a press conference. You are addressing the senators and you are telling them what to do. I don't think it is proper. What they should have done, they have caucuses of the party, you know, the president, the vice president, the chairman, the secretary, and all their leaders. They will sit down and they will take a decision. You don't need everybody to take the decision.
How easy was it when you were there? I mean, because
a
lot of lawmakers will say, look, the party might decide, but when the lawmakers get onto the floor, it's another kettle of fish, isn't it?
Yes, but if you manage it well from the beginning, by canvassing, by allowing them to lobby, by allowing them to campaign, don't say it must be Lawan. Very nice gentleman, very passionate.
You think the APC got it wrong by
very
endorsing
right.
Lawan?
Very right, very nice person. Appropriate.
But I'm saying, is it wrong for the party to have endorsed him?
It's the process that could be managed better by allowing him to, first of all, tap to his colleagues for acceptability. Then, after they've accepted, it now comes to the party and says, okay, I have gone around, they've accepted me, but to, you know, tell the whole world it must be Lawan, it is inappropriate.
We've seen that when you were in government, even when you were in the executive, during the Obasanjo period, we saw several Senate presidents. Some of them were removed. We saw what happened with Chuba Kadibo. We saw what happened with Evans and Warren. This kind of situation gets out of hand based majorly in internal politics of the party. The way the APC is handling it and what happened in 2015, do you have fears that there might be a repeat?
No. It won't be as bad as that, because Lawan will be acceptable to all the political parties.
Really?
Yes, we know him since he was in the House of Rep, and he's an appropriate person for that position. But he himself should canvass to be the state president. You
think some of those who are aggrieved, Senator Ali Ndume, for example,
is aggrieved. You must talk to him.
The Senator-elect Oji Uzokalu is also aggrieved.
You must talk to him.
So do you think that the PDP might not use this? Your party, you know your party, you guys are very good with trying to, in the midnight of the inauguration of the 8th Assembly. It was when your party decided and said, look, we have a position on this, and your party had an inroad into the APC, getting the DSP.
This time around, Lawan is acceptable to almost everybody because he's a complete gentleman, very neutral, very destabilized, and it's totally acceptable to us, and it's appropriate. What he must now do is to go on his own to lobby his colleagues for acceptability. It is not the party that will accept him.
You think the APC might have a tough time for the speaker role?
Definitely. Because they assume that Nigeria is not divided into 6 zones. The vice president is from the southwest. The vice president is from Lagos State.
Ogun State.
He voted in Lagos State. He resides in Lagos State. He's representing Lagos State in that. And the person they are proposing is from the same senatorial district like him. And we have 6 geopolitical zones. So what are you going to give the others? These are the things.
And we understand that the wife of the APC leader, Senator Ogunlewe Tinubu, also wants to be DSP.
It depends on her. She can canvass for it. She can lobby.
Can Femi Gbajabiamila come out as the speaker and we still have Ogunlewe Tinubu as the DSP?
That is nothing impossible, but you lobby for it. You canvass for it. Let your colleagues appreciate that you have contacted them, that you are for them, because you have to do a little bit of, game playing.
All right. So it boils down to what is played on the floor.
Yes, and the personality involved. Don't assume that, yes, my party has given it to me, it's on a platter of gold. No.
All right.
You have to move and, talk to your colleagues and plead with them. Let them know the way you appreciate them.
Let's move quickly to another issue, Senator. Today, friends and well-wishers of the APC national leader and former governor of Lagos State, Bola Tinubu, marked his 77th birthday with an annual colloquium. At the event, Tinubu warned the Buhari government not to increase value-added tax. Take a listen to him.
The vice president and his team put a huge question mark on any increase on VAT. Please, if we reduce the purchasing power of the people, we can further slow down the economy. Let's widen the tax net.
That's Bola Tinubu there for you. So the vice president, Yemi Osinbajo, when he got to the podium, he was very optimistic about the second-term agenda of the APC, which is termed the next level. Well, he's also very quick to blame the past administration. We've heard him not the first time. Take a listen to what he says about the past administration.
Nigeria's main problem is not a lack of ideas, is not a lack of projects or programs. It was most of the time, especially with the leadership in the past, was a lack of integrity in leadership and corruption in particular.
The professor there, Yemi Osinbajo, the vice president. Let me get to you. At some point, we'll get to hear from one of our guests on the program, who is the policy advisor to this government on the next level agenda, Ikem Ishekwana. But let me, do you agree with the vice president? This is not the first time he's blamed your party that has ruled Nigeria for about 16 years or more for some of the rot that we find in the country. You agree with him on Professor Osinbajo on what he said?
It is not new. For the last 4 years, he has been singing the same song without movement, without giving an alternative. Yes, 16 years of bad government. What about your own? What do you want to do? Nigeria didn't vote for the past government. They voted for APC now. Tell Nigerians what you want to do. It is an alibi, as expired now, as far as I'm concerned. Thinking of the past, blaming the past, when you have a lot of work to do. Right. A lot of work to do.
Let's hear from Ikem Ishekwana. He's a policy advisor to on the next level agenda. He joins us from our Abuja studio. Okay, Ikem, you heard there, a lot of people have criticized this government. Stop blaming the past administration. Why don't you focus on what you have called the next level? Well, you saw the vice president, again, he did say, quickly intervene on that.
Okay, Sheon, thanks for having me on your show. I just want to say it might be a tad disingenuous for us to focus on just a snippet of what the vice president was speaking about. I think the entire speech sort of set out and put forward proposals that are in the next level roadmap, which was the basis of the entire campaign during the 2019 presidential elections. And I don't think it's inappropriate to state the case. And the case is that if you look at the metaphor of the next level, it suggests that there's been some foundational building exercise that has happened this past 4 years. But prior to the past 4 years, there was a lot of degeneration, decay, deterioration, which was essentially just on account of a lack of character in public office. So it's good to restate the fact that people must hold public office holders to some certain level of standards of integrity. So nothing wrong with saying it at the colloquium, but to make the point and make it appear to the audience who might not have seen the entire speech as though he was just playing a blame game, I think is a tad disingenuous, and we need to state it that he actually dealt extensively with what the policy focus of this administration would be in 4 years. And that's the reason why I'm here, to elaborate a bit more on just what these 4 years, what it holds for Nigerians like you and I. And so I'll be happy to entertain those questions and not speak about an admonition that was maybe probably 10 seconds in a speech.
Great. Ikem, that's the reason why you're here. And we'll bring it out to you, because you do know that that's been a major talking point out of what he said. But we'll take a break, and when we come back, a lot of the naughty issues we'll bring forward on the table tonight. That's after this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's get back to business. Senator Adeshaye Ogunlewe, a member, a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, a former minister and a former senator, has been talking to us from our Abuja studio. Ikem Eshekwana is the policy advisor on the next level agenda of the Buhari government. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on tonight. Senator, Professor Shibajo, look, the next level will be an interesting one. We've not seen the next level. We've seen the first 4 term. Do you see an interesting and exciting next level as promised by the Buhari government?
No, they should match it with the critical factors that are plaguing the country. One, unemployment. What is the percentage of employment now? 22 million. What do we have to do to reduce it? Illiteracy, 85%, right? Our children cannot go to primary schools, government primary school anymore, or government secondary schools anymore, or government universities anymore. There are more private universities than government universities. Unemployment is very high. What is the rate of employment? What are we going to do to curb them? How many factories must we? You are giving e-payment, 100,000, 200,000. In which country has that one improved the life of the people? It is when you provide job for them, job in form of factories. In Nigeria before, the number of factories in Kaduna State was 3,000. Today, it's less than 10, 20. The entire Ikeja was industrial estate from the western region. What has happened now? Everything has been taken over.
The APC says your government destroyed a whole lot of things in this country. But with what the APC has done in 4 years and what they said they will do in another 4 years, do you see us getting back on track?
They must address the problem of Nigeria. It's not by mouth. We have 10 million.
Do they look like they are going to do that?
It is up to them. We have 10 million children out of school. What are we going to do? Infant mortality is the highest in the world. Our children are not getting food. There is no food on the table of Nigerians.
Let's ask Ikem on this.
Let them do it.
All right. I mean, Nigerians will hold your government and the next level agenda. In the center of this, what will be the most important thing on the next level for an average Nigerian?
So I think the most important thing is jobs. The focus of the roadmap is focused primarily on stimulating employment and productivity. So across various sectors, across various initiatives and programs, what you will find is that government is focused on trying to catalyze jobs, skills development, and ensure that besides what government does, that the private sector is able to match up most of the effort that government would do and even surpass it. And maybe it's important to speak about a few of those policies just so that Nigerians can understand.
Sorry, let me ask specifically. One moment. Let me ask specifically. Sorry, 1 minute before you go ahead. If you can tell us how many jobs should Nigerians be expecting that will be created in the next 1 year, for example? What are the indices that you can tell us?
Okay, so, and that's why I have said I have to take programs and explain. Okay, today at the colloquium, there's a program, it's called the Green Initiative. It's essentially a Brazilian and Nigerian arrangement. It was signed in January. Now, what that arrangement does is that it infuses over $1 billion, just over $1 billion into the Nigerian economy, and is entirely meant for mechanization and to create processing plants across the country. Now, we've worked out the financing arrangement for it. So the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, and the Central Bank of Nigeria has worked out how this would bring in investments into the country. Now, that's a critical aspect of the entire industrialization policy. What it does is that we would have over 5,000 tractors assembled every year. We're going to have at least 6 OEMs that will be established across the regions. So if you recall Volkswagen, the Anamco factories and PAN, and they are all going to be retooled and will be given to private sector participants who would entirely run the assembling of tractors and also do light manufacturing of processors. Now,
all right, so sorry if I'm aborting. Sorry if I'm aborting again. For an average Nigerian, this just a moment, Ikem. Let me put this to you. Hold on. For an average Nigerian, this may look more like an academic affair. This may look like an academic affair. If you can tell them right now that this is how many jobs you're looking at creating, for example, in 1 year, across some of the spectrum of the ideas that you have created.
Now, so Ashim, you have to, I mean, there's something that is anti-intellectual about you just expecting an answer that I'll pluck from the air. I've got to explain to you the basis of why I think we are going to create 5 million jobs. And I think as the media, we must listen and interrogate and see whether what we are doing is hogwash or we are presenting Nigerians with concrete proposals. And what I'm saying to you is that if you look at this value chain, over 5 years, it promises to create 5 million jobs just in agriculture on account of mechanization. Now, that's just one policy. Now, we have a direct jobs policy. A direct jobs policy is to ensure that 1.7 million Nigerians who come out and graduate from either tertiary institutions or secondary schools and get into the job market have some sort of succor and can get on the prosperity ladder because we are ensuring that there's skills development that makes them employable. If you look further down the chain, if you look at where we are, and you have to understand that we have been dug into a hole. We've got to dig ourselves out of this hole. That's why we said there's been foundation building, and we are going to the next level of consolidating on those gains. First is, you look at your educational system. Your educational system does not promote any sort of work now. And the point is that this government is entirely focused on changing it, ensuring that all the teachers in all the primary and secondary schools are retrained on the one hand. The second thing is that we are changing the curriculum to emphasize digital literacy so that we can participate in a knowledge economy. There is no point in us, saying that we want graduates who leave school and the employment, the employers of labor, the private sector, cannot employ them. Any survey, any of the surveys that have been done in the past 10 years, this
idea looks so exciting. Just a moment.
So to address structural issues.
Hold on, Ikem. We're out of time. We need to go, Ikem. Thank you so much. These ideas look exciting, and Nigerians will be hoping that this comes to fruition. Just in 10 seconds, Senator, if you let us, if you get us out of the program with your final word. In 10 seconds, what do you make of this? Great ideas, isn't it?
You must restructure the country. The country is too top-heavy. As long as he's talking about agriculture, federal government does not need to do agriculture. It is the state. He's talking about primary school education. That is for the local government and the state. Restructure the country so that more work can be done at the local government and state level. And fewer work will be done at the federal level. As long as we remain like this, we are going to be further by another 4 years.
Senator Ogunlewe, it's a pleasure having you. Always a pleasure.
It's my pleasure, yes.
Well, those are very exciting ideas from Ikem there. 4 years for the next level agenda, if time permits. So we're hoping and we hope that this comes to life. But that's our show for tonight, everyone. And thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.